So good evening, everyone. Happy Monday. Uh, what are we? December 15th today, I guess, eh? December 15th. 10 days away from the infamous
Christmas Day.
Christmas Day. So excited about that. I'm sure everybody has um, got all their shopping done and have wrapped up lots of super patches for presents and gifts and stocking stuffers and sent them around and are all prepared for lots of turkey and then all those sit-ups between Christmas and New Year's. All looking forward to having our victory and our focus patches on for the 200 or 300 sit-ups we have to do each day to get us back to where we were. So, yeah, so coming quick,
Yes,
but
it is.
been a Kevin and I were speaking today. It's great to see everybody on the call. We were talking today about really when we look back at 2025 being, a year of, transition, change, pricing, increases, version 2.0 hitting the market. Um, we, I think we have a lot to be thankful for. And I think all of us that are here, uh, have had some great successes over the year, despite maybe some, struggles and trials. Because let's face it, we all go through struggles and trials, don't we? Those are things that we gotta overcome. But I'm just so elated to be, involved in this group, to know so many of you, and to have been able to work together with everybody and see everybody that's wanting to grow. With a young company like Super Patch being, not even 3 years old, and the growth that we've sustained in the last 3 years, sometimes it's really hard to contain that growth and stay on that momentum. And so there's frustrations, there's all kinds of issues that hit that show that we're not quite a well-oiled machine yet. But what do we have? We have a phenomenal product that's changing lives. And I know myself, for me this year, it's been a year of transition, a year of refocus for myself, a year of rebuilding myself and looking at ways that I can get better, as a leader, as a friend, and those are things that are difficult, and we all don't make the right decisions sometimes, but generally, I think that the decision makers in this company, their intent is usually good.
Yeah.
It doesn't come off that way necessarily sometimes. So we share our frustrations at times or whatever. But when you think about the bigger picture, Kev, I think, and maybe a bunch of you will agree that we've got a pretty phenomenal product here. And for
Yeah.
3 years old, what we, as a team, what the company has accomplished in 3 years, um, I think it's pretty phenomenal. And I know that I've talked to other people that have been in startup companies, and their frustrations are sometimes far greater than what we see, with regards to being in a startup. So I think, all in all, 2025, as we come to sort of a close in the last, 20 days of the year, that we got some pretty exciting things and some pretty uh, incredible things that we've done in the past year. And I think that the really exciting thing is to look ahead and say, what are we all striving for in 2026? How can we all get better? How can we all help each other better and put all the negative stuff behind? What do you think, Dev?
Well, Terry, you hit some key points, and where I was on a few different calls today, and a couple different associates, and when I look at what we have learned in our own personal development journey in Superpatch, and as we learned in network marketing, this is probably the greatest platform where you're going to learn about yourself, because you have to push yourself. There's nobody going to push you to do anything you don't want to do, because at the end of the day, we're an independent associate. So what do we do to get better? And then one of the key things that came into us, for those that were VP and above, and what we've been able to share back to our teammates is like what we've learned from John Maxwell.
Yeah.
And for me, this year has been, there's a lot has happened. And, we share this with everybody. There's always going to be change in your life. In fact, if there's no change, you're not going to grow. Oh yeah, remember when I was in kindergarten? Yeah, I don't remember that, but I'm glad I'm still not in kindergarten. That would be very embarrassing at my age. Hey, I just graduated from kindergarten. I got to be out of here. I got to be gone, man. So growth is an essential part of who we are as a human being throughout our entire life.
Yeah.
And I think what's most exciting for me with this is that as we grow as individuals in all the different parts that we have to learn about, we have a technology that is like so far ahead. And I was sharing this on calls today. It is so far ahead. The exciting thing for me in Super Patch is being a visionary. Why? Because everybody on this call, I'm sure, has a story. Kev, if it wasn't for one of these patches, man, I'd be going up. I'd be trying to paddle up the creek against the current with no paddle.
Yeah.
Going and we all had that moment, and we use that moment to tell a story, to share, to help people, and we embrace that mission to help what 1 billion people. So what do we gotta do? Man, there's a lot of things I gotta learn, Kev, Terry, and all of us on this call going, yeah. In fact, I saw a comment from somebody going, you'll never arrive. The river just keeps going. There's more river, you'll never run out of a river to paddle upstream against a current, against society with this tech. Man, do we have an amazing team that we're growing here with visionistic people that go, I love being part of a tech company that has 13 patches, and there's more on the way, that is going to revolutionize how we help people.
Yeah.
And going, what a powerful impact you can make with the rest of your life of helping your fellow human being who was lost, like we all were, going, I'm not winning any games with my body, Kev, Terry, all of us going, hey, I got something, you want to try it? No, I like going up the creek without a paddle type. People going, no, man, can you turn the current around? Yeah, let's try something. Let me show you a different paddle. Put this one on. Let me know what happens to you. Let me tell you my story. Let me tell you a story. And we started attracting people. And so with John Maxwell joining us, courtesy of Jay, phenomenal gift that he went out, because he talked about this. He's not an inexpensive coach. Just leave it at that. Okay? He's like, no, he's top shelf. Why? I want to help you guys. I want to help you become a better leader. Because if you never led, wouldn't it be great to be taught by somebody who's like written like a lot of books, has thousands of coaches, is esteemed all over? Yeah, that'd be a good guy to have in a team, man. I want that first round draft pick. So would I. And that's what we have. So those of us that have, what do? You give. You pass it down. And then we all grow together as a team, because that's what this is about. It's a team sport. Network marketing is an individual sport, but it's a team sport, because a team sport opens up a lot of opportunities. And this is what's so exciting for us with this year, Tara. So it's been, you're right, a lot of really neat things have happened with our soon to be 3-year-old company, and it's exciting for the future. Can't wait to see where it goes next.
Yeah, and I think the really neat thing about having a guy like we've probably all listened to different mentors, whether it's Tony Robbins, whether it's Eric Worre, whether it's Ray Higdon. John Maxwell, to me, is one of the best. And I think that we've been pretty fortunate, I'll tell you, to have the opportunity to be able to grow with the leadership quality of this guy. And kudos to Jay for challenging us to get to a level where this leadership training, this guidance,
Yeah.
is something that we didn't have to pay for out of our own pockets.
Yeah.
That's just incredible. It's mind blowing, and so it incentivizes people to get to that level. But as you said, for those that aren't there yet, and I do mean aren't there yet because you'll get there. Um, it's imperative that we pass that down and do what we can to share what we learned. And last Friday's call was an incredible call, I thought, because we, I don't think anybody goes out and looks for trials. I don't think anybody goes out and looks for challenges from the perspective of oh, I want this challenge so that I can be better. I don't think we actually go looking, but we understand that we have to have challenges to get better, but we don't necessarily get to pick them. And one of the things that John Maxwell said to me, and I know there's other leaders on this call here that I want to hear from as well, is he said that, all of us are here because we want to grow. I truly believe that. We're all here. We're still doing this. We all want to grow. We all want to make some money. We all want to share this technology. We all believe in it. We're here. Does it come with a linear progress? No, it doesn't come linear, that's for sure. And do we have challenges? Yes, we have challenges. And that's one of the biggest things he said, that in a growth environment, it has to have challenges or there's no growth. And so challenges we've had, I mean, there's been this time of year with any company, one of the biggest challenges is shipping, getting product on time because of the amount of products that are being shipped. And so, the normal expected time after a huge promotion like the, Double Flex 40 promotion is getting products on time. That's been a little bit of a frustration for people. And we understand that, but we work through them, and we have to work through them as a team. And I think with one of those topics that we were talking about, with a growth environment has to have challenges. It's about how we handle challenge together. I know that there's people that got my back in this company. I make some pretty dumb mistakes sometimes, and my thought process always is, I want the best for the team. But they understand, I think, what what the purpose might be, but they're looking that it's not the right way to do it, and they'll have my back, and they'll say, hey, think about maybe changing this or moving it or doing something different. And you have no idea how much we appreciate that, because you can't get defensive with that if we're in a growth environment. We all need to grow and learn. And so I look at what we've learned with this year with Jay weeding out the people doing balance tests wrong. The people that were doing things that were never trained by Jay, and him having to finally step in. That's a challenge. And we, as people that are growing, we are obligated to share that and pass that message from, our leader. But all in all, as we go into 2026, I think we've got, a brand that is becoming very recognized around the world. And I don't think there's one person on this call that hasn't been frustrated with this, with regards to whether it's follow-up, with regards to somebody having a patch on and they didn't get maybe the results that they were expecting in a quick moment of time. Maybe the order was wrong, maybe it was shipped late, whatever it is, but we're all still here, aren't we?
Well, Tara, let me tell you about a shipping story. So I live north of Toronto. Okay, I shipped 2 packages for a fundraiser to a friend of mine who lives in Oakville. It's like a 40-minute drive, even with traffic. It's 40-minute drive. It took 17 days for this envelope. I missed the date. He had to, Kev, forget it. I got your back. I'll gift the product. I'll wait for it. And he sent me the message when it came in the mail. He goes, I couldn't believe how slow Canada Post was. So I could have walked there and back probably 5, 6 times in 17 days to Oakville. But I said, nah, just put in the mail, be fine. 17 days.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
so what I learned with failure is, and we're no different, when the volume hit, it's like, okay, so we're gonna be ready for next year. You know what I mean? We learn through failure. This is how you grow. You try something, we did a promotion, it blew up in an amazing way,
yeah,
phenomenal way. You say, okay, we got to be ready next year. What do you mean? We're going to bring in manpower or people power.
yeah,
Because the team is going to be bigger next year. And so the fact that we overcame, we figured it out. Yeah, that's life, man. It goes on and on and on. I said, that's why I've learned, I'm old school. That's why I learned you need to have a pantry. Why? That's what the farmers did. They got a pantry. I got extra. Why? Because you never know what's going to happen sometimes. So preparation is another thing I learned about leadership. You need to prepare for stuff that can happen sometimes that you have no control over. Because we all went through COVID. Yeah, that lasted a long time. Wow, we figured we got through it. Our business grew through COVID. This is amazing.
mm-hmm.
What we were able to do, what Jay was able to do through something that paralyzed the entire planet. We overcame that. But sometimes people forget, and I gotta build up this pantry thing, Kev. That's right. I can't afford to be without my patches. Why? Because I can't. So I won't. I'm gonna make sure I've got at least a month's supply built up. So we learn. So this is something I teach people when I bring them on board. Don't just have the JIT, right? Just in time.
Mm-hmm.
Build up that you have more. Because you never know when you're going to need it. Because you might come across somebody that needs it and you're able to step in. I remember Eric talked about this, about, you recruit somebody, and here's a patch, here's a full pack. Why? Because you got a full pack, you got to go do the demo. And when you get your order in, then we're going to replace mine. That's a really good idea. Why? Because you need patches to go and do the demo. Like, don't leave home without it.
Yeah.
So these things that we learn through this, and as Terry and I were talking about earlier, as we accountable to one another, this is a part that we were learning as teammates. How do we support one another for those of us that want to get the B word? I want to get better. I want to get better at this.
100%.
I really like what we get to do. So these are one of the things that we'll talk about a little bit.
Yeah, I'd like to hear from a couple of people here. Kathy, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Kathy Page, you could just unmute.
Hey, Terry, thanks so much. Yeah, I see where you guys are coming from. I see what you're saying. John Maxwell is a huge asset to the leaders. And one thing that I caught on his call the other day was your mind is like a parachute. It only works when it's open.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to be open to what you're doing, and you got to be open to changing, becoming a leader. You need to develop a great team. But in order to develop a great team, you have to bring up your level of leadership and just continue to learn. And by being here is definitely a way to learn, and is like Terry said, there's no company out there that's perfect. There's always frustrations. There's always whatever. But are we in the right spot? Absolutely. And I think being at conference in February is going to really show us that we're in the right place. And because from what I understand, there's just a lot going to be told to us in February with what's going to happen in the coming future. And I think our future is bright as long as we stay positive, act like leaders, become great leaders, lead your team. John Maxwell has a book out, and I'm actually going to get it. I don't have it. And he said his book is 17 Laws of Teamwork.
Hmm.
And I think that would be a great place to start for somebody that wants to be a great leader. And like I said, I haven't read it either, but yeah, no, we definitely shipping has definitely been an issue lately, but in saying that, like Jay said on the call the other day to the leaders, we had $1 million day, we had a $2 million day, and we had a $4 million day. Well, what do you think that did to pick, packing, and shipping? I can't even imagine.
Yeah, you can't, you're right, Kat. You can't plan for that growth. And I mean, one of our businesses in my family was a trucking business. It wasn't large. It was 38 rigs, I think, but it was a total business of disappointment all the time. Road conditions, detours, trucks breaking down, customers complaining, wrecks. The truck crashed, right? The goods were damaged inside the truck. Like there's just a myriad of things. It's a very um, it's a business of disappointment, as my dad put it. So you're right with that growth. My goodness, can you imagine?
I wouldn't have been wanting to work in that area of the company that day. I can tell you that.
Can you imagine the machine that prints out the orders, tick, 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 and they're looking at it and thinking, uh-oh, no supper tonight. You know what I mean? So, those are certainly growing pains, but we, as the end users, we get frustrated. You know, we've had a couple, obviously all of us have had a couple deliveries that it's like, oh my goodness, I just ordered it yesterday or 2 days ago and it's here already. And then it was like, oh, I ordered it 7 days ago and it's not here and the sky is falling, right? So we've all been guilty of feeling that way. But you make a great point, Kathy, with that growth. How do you know, how do you how do you, deal with that when it comes in? It's like a tsunami coming into shore. How fast can you outrun the tsunami?
mean, really, when you think of it, Terry, how we should be looking at it is, and I get it, it's frustrating, and you need a lot of patience, and I get that, there's customers that are upset and whatnot. I understand that, but in actuality, we should be looking at it and say, "Wow,
Hmm.
like look where we are." And look how fast this company is growing, and look what we're doing. And hats off to all of us
Hmm.
who have created those 1 to 4 million dollar days,
Sure.
um, because it's an absolutely phenomenal position to be in, to have those kind of days to create those shipping issues. We'd all be really impatient if we were sitting back and our packages were going out like within a day, and but productivity is tanked.
Yeah.
So we got to be thankful for what we have, and look at the positive side of things, and keep your I always say keep your patient pants on.
Yeah, that's a great way to get it. And I think, one of the things that I'm guilty of and I'm trying to get better at is that sometimes I lead by assumption. And instead of picking up the phone and doing things that I can do to be what that's another thing that John talked about, to know your team. uh, you got to know your team to grow your team. And I'm going to try and make it a point to get more on a personal level with team. And that to me is a real blessing as a part of this. I mean, what we get to share in the stories. I mean, Kevin coined the phrase the Kleenex moments, and we've all had those. And I think that, from where we are now to, like, I think back, Kathy and Kevin and some of the OGs that have been here for a while. I mean, I think of the first year, it was so far and so different than where we are 10 years later, and how we've transitioned and what we've went through in those 10 years, not only with COVID, but with introducing new substrates to today, what we have, the version 2.0, the new patch, the 2.0 is phenomenal. I mean, it's absolutely incredible. It stays on better. There's the medical adhesive is better. The athletes are saying it stays on. Some of the athletes that I've talked about are saying it's incredible. It stays on. It doesn't matter how much we sweat.
Well,
Um,
Terry, so that point with the athlete. So here's another great example of innovation. We have a patch, we try it, goes out there, and you get feedback. And what's powerful with the team that's involved with the manufacturing, the design of the patch, is they can only get better based on what? Feedback. What's working, what's not working. It's like you're continually assessing, reassessing. You know, in sports you have lines. You have the right players on the right line, and you keep playing with the recipe to find the right combination. And when they came out with the 2.0, they arrived at that saying, well, what's out there in the marketplace? Is there a better adhesive out there? Where's the technology at to make the patch? We were sharing this earlier that, the patch is significantly smaller. Like people, when I show the two patches to people, here's a fun experiment. See, this is where we were last year. This is where we are this year. Holy jumping, that small? Yeah, man, isn't that cool? Like I'll just keep the patch the same size. How do we make it better? And when you're trying to make something better, you're going to go through ups and downs. It's inevitable, but to have the 2.0 with the type of adhesive that they've been able to find and the characteristics of the patch, it's another feather in the cap of Super Patch. You guys aren't waiting around, are you? No way, man. Waiting around means you lose. What do you mean? You always need to keep moving forward. Just how do we keep improving this? How do we keep all the parts of Super Patch? It's going to go on ad infinitum. Why? It's just like us growing up as human beings. Nobody stayed the same. In fact, staying the same is like, that's a bad place to be, man. Like if you're an athlete and you just stayed the same, oh my gosh, you're not going to be around very long. I got to get better. They're always working on some part of their athletic talent. They never quit. So why would we be any different in Super Patch? Nah, I'm not going to do anything today. I'm going to take a chill day. I'm going to take a couple chill days. Tara and I talked about this. If you're a pro golfer, you're practicing every day. Every day, and we were talking about this, of those of us that have a desire. Like you got to want it, right? Like I want to make this work. I was on a call with one of our teammates last week, and they went, I need to make this work. Okay, that's a motivated person. Why? Because you know the story. As Terry just said, and getting to know my teammates. Who wants this to be like we see in the industry, these people? Because what I learned is the bigger your business, the more people you can bless. This is how the philanthropists look at this stuff. And the people that we have in leadership outside of the associates are people that have done this. So they're leading us. And they're excited to be part of a technology company that is so innovative and so cool and so blue ocean. They don't have to worry about competing against everybody. We're going to make our own blue ocean wave. I'll give you an example. Again, because it's Canada. There used to be a wood hockey stick. It's gone the way of the dinosaur. It's called composite now. In fact, but it didn't start as it was a process. I was there in hockey, and Terry and I were evolved. A 2-piece, a 1-piece, aluminum, whatever. Now they got composite. I don't know where it's going to go next, but I said, you can't stay the same. You got to keep changing. You got to keep growing. You can still find wood hockey sticks, but nobody uses them in the NHL. Nobody. They use what's the greatest, what's the best, this. This is where we're going. It's a process. It's a
Yeah.
process. So embracing the process and seeing the big picture, as we call it, of the future of health and wellness and human performance, we're it. Why? You just have to go to do a demo on a professional athlete. They got no balance. You mean the best of the best, Terry and Kev? Yeah, Terry and I have done this with the best of the best. Some of you on this call. The best of the best can't. If you want to watch a good video, watch the video with Jay doing the demo on Elvis Stoico. Go find it. What do you mean? World champion figure skater. Couldn't pass the demo. Really? Go watch the movie. Whatever you need to inspire yourself, going, if the best of the best need help, we have an unlimited marketplace to go help people. Just
Yeah.
keep working.
Yeah. I know that we got Jay's call, and I was a little confused with the calls of what he was doing because he was traveling and some adjustments. So I believe that the his Awakened Abundance call is at 8 p.m. Right, and I reposted it. But what I'm really excited to talk about tonight is as we go into 2026, I think all of us, including me, should set some goals for ourselves with regards to your personal goals, all those sort of things, family life, those sort of things are all your own goals. But I'm thinking we, should all set some goals for ourselves, whether it's recruiting goals, whether it's rank advancement, whether it's income goals. We should set those goals. And Kevin and I were talking about doing a final team call for the season on the 29th of the month. We talked about, would this be our last call of the year or would we go again? And we're like, as an athlete, as a golfer, I said, they don't quit. They don't quit. They might have a family Christmas dinner, but they hit 150 to 200 balls before they go to dinner, whether it's in a simulator or whether it's whatever, they don't stop. Be a pro. So we're not going to stop either. Those that can make it, that's great. Those that can't, that's totally fine too. But one of the things that that I haven't been the best at, that I really want to get good at next year myself, is the accountability sheet. How many people on this call are familiar with the accountability sheet in our files tab? By show of hands. Yeah, I think that, the accountability sheet, I might just share my screen and just quickly see if we can go through this. Let me just see. You don't have it up on your screen, do you, Kev?
Yep, I can pull it up. I prepped, Terry. I got
No,
your
I
golf-
have.
I got your golf clubs ready, man. They're on the first tee. We're good. We're good.
Let's just quickly go through this. Let's quickly go through this right now while we've got a bit of time, and see if we can't sort of look at the different areas of that.
Okay, let me just share my screen. Big. Share. There we go. Okay, we're good?
Got it? Yep.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so for those who have seen this, phenomenal. For those who haven't, it's in the Files tab in our Team Pagination. Just click on Files, scroll down about, I think it's 10 lines, and you'll see this income producing tracker in a PDF.
Yeah, and it's in an Excel spreadsheet as well, in case people
Correct.
want to print it off. You can do it right on an Excel spreadsheet.
That's right. So the fun thing about this is, and I appreciate what Eric, again, different people bring different tools to the team because we're always learning. And he brought this to us months ago, and there's different categories in regards to important pieces of what you can do individually to see where you are working on these income producing activities or IPAs or revenue producing activities, whatever word you want to use, in these different categories. So I'm part of a group, and every week, and we're talking about Tiff, Terry and I and Kathy about, for those that and this is a friendly team, okay? We're here to help one another because everybody's growing, okay? You never stop growing, you keep growing, that we're part of this group. And as you scroll onto the second page, you get a report card. Slow, medium, or fast, right? What do you want to do? Or how did your month go? So because you can do this by month, it's like a report card that we had in school. Oh, don't tell me about those report cards. Okay, some of us had good report cards. Some of us had, I'm not showing my parents my report card. Why? Because I'm not. It was not going to be a good conversation. So it's like, okay, we can accountable to ourselves, but as a group of those of us who say, I need this accountability. I need somebody in my corner that can help me with the different categories. And you do this every day. It's like brushing your teeth. It's like putting on your patches. Every day I put on my patches, every day I do my tracker. Why? I need to see by the end of the day, you're going to hear in the far right, you got a total. So you add up all your different categories of all different things you did in the day, and you get a report card. And I'll close on this. So John, again, I'm just sharing for John Maxwell. John says, he goes, every day I'm working on my business. But some days I don't do a lot. Because, you take a rest day. But I did a little, I always read. He says, I always read. Reads every day. Now I can read 5 pages on a book. It's personal development. I did some work today. But the other days, I'm busy. He says, I'm doing stuff. Why? He's written over 90 books. He's been busy. He's got more to do. He's more ideas. I said, that's the mindset of a winner. Anybody, any artist, musician, crafter, whatever, network marketer is like, man, you really work at this, don't you? Yeah, every day. There's always something I can work on to help me improve, and you'll never arrive. This is the other fun thing. I can always, like Terry talked about this before, right, folks? The only room I got this drilled in my head. The only room in my house, the room for improvement. Every day I'm trying to do a little bit, because nobody achieves perfection, but I can do something today. I can call my teammate. Hey, how you doing? Just checking up on you. Nobody calls anymore. They love getting a phone call. It's not a bill collector. It's a teammate. Hey, how are things going? Need some help? It's nice of you that you call. It's good to hear your voice. People are desired to be a part of something called culture of a company. We can create that. We all have the power to create that culture with the people on our team. Then you find a friend. But I know somebody on this call, good friends. You found a new friend in Super Patch. Wow, we're like best buddies. Great. And you always got a smile on your face, and you shows together and you work together. We can create that. So the tracker gives us those tools. And if this is something that's tugging on your heartstrings or on your wallet, whatever it's pulling on, say, I want to be part of this. This sounds like a lot of fun. It's going to help me grow. Well, you're on the right team. You're on the right team to help you grow. If that's what you want, if that's what you desire.
And here's the cool thing about the accountability sheet. It's to be accountable to yourself. So you don't fudge the numbers.
That's right.
Yourself. Right. And so like I look at this is mine for last week, and I sucked last week. I didn't do great last week. Had stuff come up and whatever. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because I'm only accountable to myself, and I can only look at it and say, you sucked last week. You gotta do better next week, buddy. If you want to keep this thing rolling and grow, you got to get better at it. So it's accountability to ourselves, not to anybody on the team here. So I strongly urge everybody to print off copies of that. Have them in your briefcase, your knapsack, whatever, and finish it off when your day's done. Just top up your categories. Did you do a post on your Facebook? Did you call a teammate? Did you Did you share a story, a testimonial on your social media? Did you sign up a new person? And what it does is it gives you a pattern of where you're weak. And trust me, we're all weak in areas. We all have great strengths, but we all have weaknesses. And so, it's great that we work on our strengths. There's no question about it. But if you look and the most points you're getting is based on, um, doing, self-improvement or whatever, and self-improvement's only worth 2 points. Signing up a new associate is 15 points. So if you're spending too much time on, reading and watching and listening to personal development and your points aren't growing, then you will understand that you're spending too much time in this area. Now you've got to apply what you've learned in your social personal development. And it's really a good guideline for all of us to be accountable to ourselves, because we can all sit here and say, oh, I want to make more money and I want to do this and and we have to be honest with ourselves. And it's okay not to be good at something,
You
but
know,
you can be
Terry,
good at it.
Terry, there's a lot of people that think, yeah, they got to do that because they're NVP or they're RVP or they're VP or whatever. And some people think that, oh, I'm not a leader. They don't look at themselves as leaders. But I'll tell you, if you have one person on your team, you're a leader,
100%.
because you're building your team. It doesn't matter if it's one or 21, you are still a leader. You've got to look at yourself. You got to pat yourself on the back and say, how can I do better to be a leader? And I shared this with my team today. Growth doesn't happen in one meeting. Success doesn't happen from one great training.
Yeah.
It's what you do after the training and after the call that makes you successful. And like, leadership is not about knowing more, it's about doing more of what matters. And what matters is growing your team. And by growing your team, you're doing these accountability sheets, and so stay consistent, take ownership of your business and keep showing up. um I believe that the best is yet to come.
Hmm. Great point, Kathy. And you know what the cool thing is that you made a great point. If you have one person on your team, they're expecting you to lead them. So you sign somebody up, you have just enrolled in leadership. Whether you know it or not, you have a responsibility. And in a growth environment, people will model what you do. If you're here to grow and you don't think you're a leader and you signed up one person, Kathy made a great point. You just stepped into leadership. And it doesn't matter whether you have one person on your team or whether you have 10,000 on your team. You have a responsibility to lead. And so that's a great point. And we can all, in some ways, we've been parents. What do you think a parent is? A parent's a leader? Don't say you're not a leader. If you're a friend that somebody looks up to, you're leading your friend. So we all have those leadership qualities. So enough on that for now. I just strongly urge, I'm sure Kathy does, I'm sure some of the leaders on here, Heather and Kevin and so on. I think we all agree that one of the best things to do is to be accountable to ourselves, whatever that is for you, whatever your goals are. We're not saying that everybody here has to build, a ginormous organization. Whatever your success goals are, take the steps through accountability to get to those levels that you're looking to do. The other thing is, I want to talk about, I'm really excited about this. Um, did you know there's a way to look in your back office now and see on your team who has registered for Vegas? So I remember doing a call with the leaders and talking about, it'd be nice as our organizations, Kathy's, Kevin's, all of us here, if we had 100 people at the event on Saturday, all walking around with a t-shirt that says, help us patch a nation. Well, there are, Kev, I don't know whether you counted, but I showed Kev where this was in the back office. And we have 104 people registered right now that have bought a ticket to Las Vegas. Now, the deal was if you got a ticket, you then were to send your proof of ticket or purchase to Jen Moyer with your sizes. She has a spreadsheet, and we will have a t-shirt made for you that you will get when we arrive in Vegas, all of us together. You will get your t-shirt at registration. And so I'm just going to share my screen and show everybody where that is. Can everybody see this screen?
Yep.
Okay, so you go in your back office, you click on the commissions tab and see what is right here. Kickoff 2026 event tickets. You click on that and it shows you everybody that's bought a ticket and the number of tickets they got. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean that everybody on here is going to go. They might have bought a kit that got them a ticket. But what it does allow us to do is go by associate number and reach out to them. So I'm really excited. So everybody here on this call, make sure your team knows where this is and in the back office. And the nice thing is you can export it. So you can export it as a CSV file. I think I might even have it here if I can share it. Let me just see if it'll open. Can you see that? Did it change?
No.
Okay, because it didn't. Anyways, suffice it to say, there's the number of files you can export it in. And, Kevin and I are going to, go through and say hello to these people in our downlines here to make sure that if they're looking for a place, if they're looking for a roommate, if they're looking for extra tickets, whatever it is that we can help, and let's get them down because we're going to probably have to call the registration for the event to end probably around mid-January. So I know there's some people that aren't necessarily that are in your teams that aren't necessarily on Facebook here, and so they don't always get the messages or whatever. But I think the last time I checked with Jen Moyer, I'm sure you all know Jen Moyer. She is the one that's looking after taking sizes. There's two different sizes. There's a V-neck and a crew neck. Your decision. And so you need to, if you're going to Vegas, you need to get a hold. And our target with some of the leaders that we made, myself and Kathy and Heather and Andrea and some of the people, we made a target of 100 people. We had 100 people walking around with these shirts that say, "Help us patch a nation." That would be pretty cool. That would show some real cohesion. And if you can make it, that would be fantastic because we've all been to events before, and you guys are probably sick of me saying about how important events are. They are game changing for a lot of people. And if we're setting goals to prosper and we're all making a decree here to prosper in 2026, whatever that prosper is, I don't think there's anybody on this call that wants to go backwards in 2026. So, if you're making a decree here in our Patchination group that we want to grow together, we want to grow individually, then if it's going to be, it's up to me. So if we all show cohesion, and I don't like the whole thing about team this or team freedom or team glory, or I'm not a big fan of that. But what I am a big fan of is somebody that has a shirt that says, "Help us patch a nation, Vegas 2026," and shows that there's cohesiveness and that we are all one team. We all have our sub teams, that we deal with, our own teams from from you on down, and that's great. That's leadership. But as the bigger picture, where Kevin's the first associate in this company, and I'm the second, and Kathy might be the third or fourth. There's a lot of people that fall under us from that perspective. And I think it's important that we, as a team, do what we can to get there and share an experience that I think is going to be game changing for this company. I think this year at Vegas is going to be game changing. What do you think, Kev?
Yeah, they spoke to Tamara Brown about this. I know we've got a few minutes left here, but they spoke to Tamara Brown about this event.
Yeah.
And she's very excited about where we are, where we're going, and what the options it gives us going down to Vegas for the convention size, the number of people we have, et cetera, because it's becoming more and more of a challenge. So that's her specialty. What's the best place to host an event? And the itinerary hasn't been finalized, but some of the people that we've heard that will be speaking, what's going to be there, and again, it's the team mindset, the team atmosphere of one team in Super Patch on a mission to what? Patch a nation and bigger vision, 1 billion people. So where do we build the cohesiveness? It's at these events, because you're going to connect with somebody else. I guarantee you'll find somebody from your own hometown or just in the same state or the same province on a different team, and who knows what, going, I made a new friend today. Great. Met him face to face. So I'm looking forward to it. Very excited about, what they're doing to help us become, at some point, and again, this is visionary thinking, a household brand name.
Yeah.
It's how I think now, because I'm not going to
I'll
stop.
tell you, when I first got into network marketing, I wasn't all in at all. The first event I went to, I was like that poker player that had stacks and just went all in. But it took an event. It took an event to learn the excitement that's available for all of us in this profession of MLM, right? So, but we all gotta link arms. We ought to help each other and continue onto that road. And so let's our next call will be on the 22nd. And then we'll do the 29th, and mark down in your notes here that on the 29th, love to have some people come on the call on the 29th and share what your personal goals are with regards to your business in Super Patch. And if we can all share that, then we can applaud each other, because cheering on somebody else's success will never affect or be detrimental to yours. Trust me. So anyways, that's all I got tonight, Kev.
Yep. Next call.
Next call.
Next shift. Zamboni's out. 7 minutes. Flood the ice.